Jaklyn was going through chemo for breast cancer when she received an It's in the Bag donation from a domestic violence service. A single mum of 3, doing it all on her own, that bag was more than just essentials. Inside was some makeup, which made her feel feminine again at a time when she had no hair, eyebrows, or eyelashes. While trying to survive physically, emotionally, and financially, that bag reminded her that she still mattered. Welcome, Jaklyn.
Thanks for having me.
We always start our podcast with a would you rather question. So your would you rather question goes a little bit like, would you rather leave a tampon in for 2 days and risk getting sick or bleed through on your dress?
I think I'd actually rather bleed through on my dress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on Another Bloody Podcast. Tell us about what life was like for you when you were a little girl.
I grew up in a very stable home. So mum and dad loved each other immensely. I have a sister who's a year and 20 days younger than me. I'm the 2nd of July. She's the 22nd of July the following year. So basically twins.
That must have cost your parents a fortune when you were like growing up.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
At least it was in the middle of the year and not close to Christmas and then backing up again for Christmas.
Exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, basically twins. We did everything together. We also had a cousin, first blood cousin, who was a month younger than me. So the 3 of us together, we did everything together. We did roller skating, we did ballet, we did everything. And yeah, really, really blessed childhood. Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
In Lamia in Campbelltown.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
in New South Wales. Yep.
When did you get your first period?
I got my first period when I was 16.
Oh, that's a bit older, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit older. But then I didn't get another one till I was 19. So yeah, I only got one period and it was very light. It was kind of just a showing. And then yeah, not again till I was 19. I was very anemic. My body obviously just didn't have what it needed to give. And yeah. So
And did your sister get her period before you got your period?
Yeah.
And then got them regularly?
Yes. Yeah. She's always been pretty regular. Yeah.
By 16, you probably had friends who'd all got their period.
Yeah, I thought I was very abnormal. Used to go to my mum crying and say to her, why don't I have a period? And she said to me, don't worry about it. As long as you don't have it, the better. You know. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I feel a bit abnormal. And so she took me to the doctors and, had blood tests, all that kind of stuff. And it was, my body was just depleted. So yeah, it was basically my body storing what it needed to help me survive. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Were you anemic because of something that was going on?
Yeah, so I was actually born with anemia. So as a newborn baby, I came out anemic. So regularly through my life, I've always had blood transfusions because iron tablets, iron infusions, none of that work for me. So only thing that my body can will absorb any iron is through blood transfusions.
Right.
So
So did you, after you were 19 then, did you have normal periods after that or just very sporadic?
Very irregular. Yeah, very irregular. Yeah, I was lucky to maybe have 3 a year. Yeah.
Wow, that's like a gift in it.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
And so then did you struggle to fall pregnant?
Well, no, in a sense, because I didn't know I was pregnant because I hadn't had a period in so long. Before I fell pregnant, I can't remember having a period for a good 18 months before that. So yeah, I have no idea how I conceived, especially I have a chronic illness as well, which makes it pretty hard to fall pregnant. She was kind of a miracle baby. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so how far along were you pregnant when you found out you were pregnant?
I was 6 weeks, so quite early.
Yeah.
And it was only because my friend was pregnant at the time. And I was saying all the symptoms, I got sore boobs, all that kind of stuff. And she's like, you're pregnant. And I said, there's no way. There's no way I can be pregnant. And she's like, yes, you are. Do these pee tests. And I'm skipping to the toilet going, I'm not going to be pregnant. You're an idiot. Rah, rah. Came out and it was positive within 2 seconds. And I was like, you did this to me? So
how old were you then?
I was 25. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And were you married?
I was engaged. Yeah.
Engaged.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about how you met your partner that eventually led to domestic violence. And
we just met on a random night out. Was at Penrith Panthers down in Sydney, and I saw him from across the way, and I was like, he looks all right, but didn't really talk to him or anything. And I was actually out with all my guy friends that night. It was me and 5 other guys because I was a bit over men at that stage. I was, left a horrible relationship and was just, I was like, if I meet someone, I do. If I don't really care at the moment, And I went to the toilet and he was kind of near the toilets. And when I came out the toilet, I just walked past him and I said, "Oh, do you want my number?" And he's just like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So I gave it to him and then I left.
So he called you on your mobile?
Yeah.
And so when was the first time that you could see some red flags with him?
Look, I always knew he had a very quick temper and he was passionate about things and, random things that people probably shouldn't be passionate about. I would say mainly, I want to say when my daughter was probably about 6 months old, my firstborn.
And how long were you together before you fell pregnant?
9 months.
Okay.
When I fell pregnant, and I didn't want to have children because I was an early childhood educator at the time, and I did not want to have children outside of my children at work. And then fell pregnant and went, "Oh, okay." So
now you have to deal with them 24/7, right?
Yeah, I do. I literally my job and children at home. So I would say when she was 6 months old, his personality started to shift a little bit. Not enough for me to be concerned because we lived with my parents at the time, me and my ex-husband, and they didn't voice too much to me. Like every now and then my mum would say, "I'll cut it out," like to him, like if you get heated about something or something like that. And she was really the only one who could kind of snap it out of him. But yeah, I want to say that's probably when it started to shift a little bit. Yeah.
When did you move out of your mum and dad's?
I think Abigail was a year old when we moved out. We picked up the keys on her first birthday, which was yesterday.
How old is she now?
19.
Right. So 18 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then consequently you lived with just him.
Yes.
And then had more babies?
Yes. So he was doing night shifts. So we were kind of ships in the night. So it was kind of nice. I didn't really see him that much.
Right.
And yeah, my mum passed away, which was terribly awful.
Geez, you must have been young then. How old was she?
My mum was 54 when she passed away.
Oh, that's my age. What?
Yeah.
What from?
She had secondary liver cancer. Her primary cancer was in her bowel, where the cancer was in her liver, because the liver can regenerate. It was right on the blood vessel, the major blood vessel for the liver. So if they even nicked it, she would have died instantly. So there's no really saving her. It was terminal cancer. So yeah.
How horrible.
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, it's been a long time, but it sucked. Yeah.
And is your dad still alive?
He is, yes.
And well?
Yeah, he's relatively well. He is in a nursing home. He's quite young to be in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Just simply because he could have had surgery to help his legs a few years back and he's refused to have surgery. So now he's almost immobile.
Right.
I housed him for almost 4 years and my sister housed him for almost 6 years. And my sister also has 2 kids with special needs. So she just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't,
It's a bloody good innings though. 10 years between the two of you.
Exactly. So, and he only moved out of my home because I moved to Queensland. So we've had to make that choice and he didn't like that choice at first, but I think he's come to terms with it. So he just needs care. That's all it came down to is he just needs help.
Yeah. And he's in his 70s now.
Yeah. And he's also 6'4" and like
heavy.
A broad big man. So
yeah.
we can't pick you up if you fall over. So yeah.
So tell me about what made you leave that relationship with your ex.
Yeah, so there was a few instances. I think my light bulb moment was we were having a really big fight, like all out, yelling, screaming, all that kind of horrible things and, being choked and my girls are like literally wetting their pants behind me like puddles on the ground, so frightened. But my 2-year-old son was standing there just watching the TV like this was just nothing to him. And I just remember while in the middle of coming in and out of kind of consciousness, I just looked at him and went, that's not okay. That is really, really not okay. And then a few weeks later, I knew my sister and my 2 best friends and their families were coming up to stay at our house with us for a Queensland holiday from New South Wales. He happened to be the worst of the worst in front of them, which he had never been before because my ex-husband's very charismatic and a lot of people love him. And he decided to be himself in front of them. And my sisters and my 2 best friends went, pack your stuff, we're going. And I was still like, oh, I don't know if I can go. And they're like, we're going. Grab your kids' stuff, grab your stuff. We are out of here. And that turned into a terrible, terrible thing. He ended up taking my son and running away with him and all that kind of stuff. So it was a big police chase to find my son because he took him in a rage. And my 2 best friends' husbands managed to get my son away from him. And I jumped in my car, packed my kids, and literally drove away.
No police involved at all?
Yeah, there were police there. Yeah, definitely. I got told I was the aggressor on the day, which was very, very sad because I was trying to explain to the police, and I had 6 other adults in the house that day, and they didn't interview any of them or ask any of them any questions.
Because he was charismatic, right?
Yeah. And they were trying to convince me to stay, and I understand the reasons why they're trying to convince me
The
to
police
stay.
were?
Yeah, not stay with him, but they wanted me to stay in the house, and they're like, we'll keep him away. It was so that I didn't take my kids over state lines, and I do understand that, but he wouldn't have stayed away. The minute the police left, he would have broken down the front door or smashed a window or something and come and got us. And I know that in my heart of hearts, I know that. So I did what I thought at the time was what was best for me and my children. It was to go home to my family.
So home to your family meant that you'd relocated from New South Wales to Queensland?
Yes.
Why that move?
My ex-husband got offered a really good job opportunity up here in Queensland through the company he already worked with. So he was going to step up in pay, step up in position, all that kind of good stuff. It took a lot of convincing to move away from my family because I know nobody in Queensland. Yeah, it was really a hard choice for me, hard choice. And my kids were so settled and all that kind of fun stuff. So we did it, sold our house and moved up here. And within 3 months, he was fired from that job.
Right.
Yeah, because he was an angry person and wanted to fight management and almost punch somebody and all that.
It's always there, somebody else's fault, right?
Yes, yeah. And they're not doing it the way that I want to do it and all that kind of stuff. So I told him, well, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. And he kept me here on purpose. Yeah.
When your friends and your sister
Yep.
were here and you decided that you were going to leave, that was the end,
Yes.
were you able to go back to New South Wales?
Yes. I drove all the way that night, crying my eyes out
With 3 kids?
with 3 kids and my sister in the car, driving a manual car because my sister couldn't drive manual. So I was driving the whole way crying and adrenaline, of course, pumping from just the day. And I'm going to be really honest, I don't remember much of that drive. I kind of got to my best friend's house because she had like spare bedrooms and stuff for us to stay in at the time. I tucked my kids in and went to sleep. The come down from the whole day, and it was a lot. Yeah, it was a big drive.
You put some distance between you though, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, which he kind of respected at first. It was kind of like, oh, I get why you did it and, all that kind of stuff, and tried to, of course, that cycle of abuse kind of started again. I get it, I understand, all that kind of trying to sweet talk me again, but I was adamant I was not coming back.
So you never went back?
No.
So how did you receive an It's in the Bag donation?
I got diagnosed with breast cancer 2018, and I was going to a lot of food banks and stuff at the time because, of course, I wasn't working as much as what I could. I was housing my father at the time, plus my 3 kids. My dad wasn't working. I actually just started back with Bunnings again. I was trying to work full-time to support my family and support my dad. And so, 2018, I got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was getting free food as much as I could. And there was a wonderful charity down in New South Wales, and they gave out free bread, fruits, veggies, all that kind of stuff. And one of the ladies pulled me aside when I was in line to get my free food, said, I want to give you this bag. And I said, oh, no, what for? And she said, you need it. It's for you.
What was in your bag?
My bag was full of period products, shampoo. I even had a cute little bottle of perfume in there. But I guess the most significant thing for me in my bag was I had MAC Cosmetics. So that was really, really lovely. Very nice, generous person did my bag for me. Yeah.
What would you say to that person who gave you that bag?
I would say thank you so much. It changed my life. Or it changed my life and how I felt about myself. Because I felt a lot of shame. At the time, I felt not pretty because having no hair, all that kind of stuff. It really changed my perspective on how I was going to move forward and present myself in the world with being bald and, all that kind of stuff. So, it changed my whole outlook.
Did your bag have a note in it?
It did, yes.
What did your note say?
Keep going, you are enough.
Oh.
At a time when I had breast cancer, which was awesome. Yeah, it was really, really good. I was in tears.
How did you find out you had breast cancer?
I was actually in the shower one day and just washing my underarm, and the heel of my palm brushed across my right breast, and I went, oh, that feels a bit hard. and then I kind of checked my other breast and felt very different.
You were quite young, yeah?
Yeah,
How old were you then?
38.
Right.
Yeah, 38. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. So I rang my doctor and got an appointment, and he literally got a ruler out of his drawer.
Right.
And he said, I think your mass is about 6 centimeters. You need to go and have a mammogram and ultrasound. And I'm like, pretty much went to the doctor's Tuesday, mammogram ultrasound appointment for the Friday.
Whoa, how did you sleep for those couple of nights?
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Yeah, and had the mammogram ultrasound done. I came home from that because, of course, radiologists don't really tell you what's going on. I put my keys in the door and my phone rang, and they said, you need to come back and have a biopsy. And then probably about a half hour later, my GP rang me and he said, oh, you need to come down to the office. And I said,
still on the Friday?
Yeah, still. This all happened in the same day.
Whoa.
Yeah, so my results were coming through really fast. And yeah, he said to me, you need to come to the office. I said, just tell me. And he's like, oh, I don't want to tell you. And this has been my GP for a long time. And I said, just tell me. And he's like, no, I don't want to tell you over the phone. I said, just tell me. And he's like, you've got breast cancer. I said, yeah, I kind of knew that. Yeah, so he set up all my appointments and all that kind of stuff for me, and we just went from there.
So you started treatment. How old were the kids?
Joshua was 6, Imogen was 9, and Abigail was 12-ish. Yeah, around there. Yeah.
And did you sit down and tell them what was going on?
Yeah.
Because that's a hard conversation
it was really
as a solo parent too, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was really difficult because at first I didn't have, all the answers. So I sat down with them and I said, Mummy's quite unwell. I've got breast cancer, and my eldest child, new nanny, died of cancer. Yeah. So she just kind of started crying. And I said, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. And I went through, if I lose my hair, it's really, really great because that means the treatment's working really, really well. I was just trying to put a really positive spin on it and things like that. But in the back of my mind, the day that I told them I had breast cancer, I was also waiting for a breast scan to come back. My oncologist had said to me that day, if the cancer spread anywhere but your breast and your axilla, which is your underarm, you have incurable cancer and there's nothing we can do for you. And I didn't have the results of that scan yet. That was a rough 24 hours until I got those results.
Did you have help? Did you have somebody who helped explain to you what you needed to say or what you were going to do? Or was it just your GP?
My GP was a really big help, but my auntie, which is my mum's sister, was a godsend because she's had internal melanoma for as long as I can remember. Right. So she's been cut, all that kind of stuff. She's had ocular melanoma, so she lost her eye when she was 25. So she's dealt with a lot of cancer.
Yeah, right.
We have great genes in our family. Yeah. So she kind of took over, and she's a very type A personality, super duper organized. Yeah. I needed it because my brain was just like, I've got to live, and I can't think of anything else because I've got to live for my children.
Yeah. How long did your treatment last for?
18 months. I had to stop chemo 3 times because my body failed. My body died 3 times from having too much chemo. My chemotherapy was very, very intense. Every time I'd have chemotherapy, I'd have to have 2 units of blood transfused, magnesium and potassium. So that would take a good 16 hours extra on top of my chemotherapy to have those transfused.
So did you have to stay in hospital for certain periods of time?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
That must be so hard with 3 kids,
It
right?
was, yeah.
And so the ex is in Brisbane?
Yes, all this
fighting you to get you to come back?
Yes. So my final orders happened the year before, trying to get a rental up here when you've got no income essentially, and other than Centrelink, and you can't go to rental places because you live in a different state, was very difficult. I sent over, I think it ended up being almost 800 applications to real estates in Queensland to move here. And he kept contravening me, and I had to keep going to court and saying, I can't find a rental. I don't have anyone to go do inspections for me. And in Queensland, you can't rent somewhere unless you've seen the property. Well, it was like that at the time. I was getting into trouble from court, and the judge actually said to me, we'll take your kids. They can live with your ex until you can move up here. And I was devastated.
Did you not have a DV order out against him?
They don't go interstate. So I had one in New South Wales for me,
Right.
but not one in Queensland. They wouldn't give me one in Queensland. My DV was in Queensland, but they gave me the order in New South Wales. It's just weird how it worked out.
Yeah.
They should really be federal.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so the DV order didn't get taken into account when they were asking for you to go back to Queensland when there's a DV order in place and your children and all your support network was in New South Wales.
Yeah, it didn't even get taken into consideration.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lawyer and a barrister, which my nan and pop helped me pay for, and he was self-represented and he won. So that was devastating. Yeah. Absolutely devastating.
So now you live in Queensland?
Yes.
And you're ordered to stay here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And you work?
I do. Yes.
Where do you work?
I work at Bunnings.
How does that feel when people are coming in, dropping off bags when you once received a bag?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing actually. And to see the support of the In the Bag campaign blows me away every year because I know it's going to the right place. I know it's going to people who really, really need it. And I think that's what I enjoy most about Share the Dignity is it's actually helping people. Sometimes you give to charities and you don't know what they're doing with that money or what they're doing with that, whatever you've donated. But I know personally where those bags go.
They go to people like you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing.
You had 18 months of treatment for your breast cancer. You lost your hair, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, and you got MAC makeup in your bag.
I did.
What kind of MAC makeup did you get in your bag?
The most significant for me was I got mascara, but of course I couldn't use that. But I got liquid loose foundation from MAC, so it's in the little pots. It was just amazing for me because it was at a time where I really couldn't afford to buy myself makeup. My money went to my kids. Didn't want to spend money on myself. I thought it was selfish. Yeah.
Do you remember putting your mascara on for the first time when you'd got your lashes back?
I do. Again, made me cry because I miss my eyelashes so much. You don't realize how much dirt goes in your eyes when you don't have eyelashes.
Right.
Like I was constantly blinking because
Is that the purpose of our eyelashes?
Yeah, it keeps stuff out of your
way.
eyes.
That was so we looked pretty.
They literally filter your eyes. Yeah, I was constantly like, ow, in my eye, ow, in my eye, all the time because, I didn't have that filter there. So, and when I finally could put a little bit of mascara on, they came back quite light at first because my hair's obviously grey. It came back grey. I put mascara and I'm like, oh my God, I have eyes. Like I just felt like you could see my eyes again. It was incredible.
Oh,
yeah.
The beauty of that. It's the simple things, right?
Yeah, it definitely is.
18 months of treatment's a very long time.
It
right?
was, yeah.
At what stage did you feel like you were safe from cancer?
I was already in Queensland, so I had already moved. Then I had surgery in New South Wales, so I had a lumpectomy and had 30 lymph nodes removed underneath my arm. And then I had radiation, which I also did in Sydney, but it was like, I think a month after I finished my radiation, I got approved for a house in Queensland. So we packed up and we moved everything up here. And then I got transferred to the Mater Hospital to Dr. Shannon. She put me on oral chemo. So I had the rest of my time was on oral chemotherapy. So, yeah.
And when did you find out that you beat it?
So that was, I think, 5 years ago. I got told that it was no detection of cancer. So, and that was a great day. Only thing I can say that I kind of missed out on that experience of having chemo. When you finished all your chemotherapy and all that fun stuff, you get to ring a bell.
Yeah.
I never got to ring a bell. So I know.
Why? Ripped off.
I know. I felt that I was robbed of that experience.
It's a metaphorical thing, right?
It literally is.
Yeah.
So I celebrate everyone that gets to do that because that's the sounding off, like, I did it kind of thing. So I never got to do that, and I applaud people who do. But for me, being cancer-free and having my children and living the life we live is more than enough of a reward. Yeah.
Have you ever put together a bag before?
I have, yes. I actually paid my bag forward. So not my direct bag, but I tried to replicate everything I got in my bag and give that to somebody else. It was a Kmart bag. I'm going to have to be really honest because, MAC cosmetics are expensive. Yeah. I definitely got the liquid foundation that I got and put that in my bag, plus period product shampoo, all that kind of fun stuff. I definitely paid that forward. I think the year I moved back to Queensland, which was 2019.
How did that feel?
It was really, really nice because I put it at my own store.
Yeah. You dropped it off and put it together and dropped it off at your own Bunnings.
So it was really, really nice. And I kind of, when I put it in there, I wrote a little card and things like that. And when I put it in there, I just kind of went, I really hope this goes to somebody who really, really needs it, just like I did.
When I put a bag together, I always just wonder who it is that's getting that bag.
Yeah.
But you know what? She is somebody like you. She is like so many of us that just look like us.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. And I think that's the perspective of people. Domestic violence seems like there's a stigma around it. Like, you know, they're really less fortunate people. They're really, and
they're wearing a terry toweling dress that live at the caravan
almost
park
like
with no teeth.
a homeless person pushing around a trolley. You know what I mean? And it's not like that. It's just people who earn $100,000 a year, people who earn $20,000 a year. It does not discriminate. Just like cancer does not discriminate against anybody.
What would you say to somebody who's listening that may be going through some similar things like you are?
Sure.
Or you did?
I would say there's light. There's light at the end of the tunnel. It might be dark now, but tomorrow's going to be lighter. And the day after that's going to be lighter again. Just keep looking for the light, because it will come eventually. It might not be as quick as you want it to. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next week. It might not be a month from now, but it will come. Just hold on and you can do it.
What would you say to your Bunnings teammates all over Australia who play such a unassuming but really important role in It's in the Bag?
Yeah.
Because without them, we couldn't do it.
Yeah. You don't know what you're doing for people. And the work that you are doing is incredible. Because I know at my store, a lot of our team members make bags. Our Bunnings family is amazing. And to just know that each bag that you contribute to or give, or even just at the store and promoting It's in the Bag, it's going to somebody who really, really needs it. And it's incredible.
I love the look on the greeters' faces when we're coming in with the bags or the volunteers are taking them away. They're just so delightful.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you how many times Bunnings staff have helped us carry them to the car.
Yeah.
Like, they're just so generous with their hearts, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and so giving. Bunnings as a company is a really, really giving company. That's why we attract the people that we attract to work at Bunnings, is because we all have that similar heart.
Thank you for joining us on Another Bloody Podcast. Thank you for being brave enough to share your story and how complicated your life was for such a long period of time, and how impactful your yellow bag was and how important that makeup was in it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.